Well, good afternoon there, everybody. Welcome here to Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show, a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. So just to show you we are dedicated to progressive rock, we are doing a mini-series. We're going to start a mini-series today. It's going to go Monday to Saturday, 6 episodes. I decided to talk a little bit about this thing that I hear all the time on YouTube and people have mentioned. It's called the Big Six of prog rock. So who are those Big Six of prog rock? Pink Floyd, Genesis, Yes, Emerson, Lake and Palmer, Jethro Tull, and King Crimson. Those are the Big Six. They all came out roughly the same period of time. They were all fairly huge around that time period as well. To me, Rush has to be in this Big Six to make it really up to date, but they're not. So we're not doing Rush, and we're not doing Gentle Giant, who's another band I think could easily be in this. So those two are not going to be in the thing. But so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to talk a little bit about each of the 6 bands. I'm going to do 6 episodes, each of those 6 bands. I'll talk about their first album. I'll talk about their last album. Are they still active? Are they not active? How many members? Who are some of the members that have been in the band? Maybe I'll give a list of all the members. I don't know. What was their... Yeah, I already said that. What was their big album? What's the least album? So yeah. So and then we're going to do a little bit about the years that they were biggest as well. Like when was the classic era of the band. So I'm just going to start today, and this is not going to go in any particular order. I'm not going to rank them or anything. There's nothing like that. We're just going to talk about the band. So I decided to start with Jethro Tull because they were the one I picked up first. So to me, Jethro Tull is definitely a progressive rock band, but they have lots of mixtures of different styles of music in their genre. They do quite a bit of folk. They originally started out as kind of a bluesy band as well. They've done hard rock. They won an award, beat out Metallica for best heavy metal album. That makes me laugh when I hear that. They've done some synth pop type stuff too later in the 90s. Yeah, they've been, and they're continued too. That's the big thing about Jethro Tull, is they're still continued. The last couple of years they've put out 2 albums. They put out the Zealot Gene one, which I really like, and the Rock Float, which I did like, but not quite as much. At first I liked it a little more, and then over time I decided I liked the Zealot Gene a little bit more. So anyways, we're going to talk about them a little bit. So Jethro Tull came out pretty much 1968, put their first album on the map in 1969. Their biggest album, of course, or the one that's probably their is considered their largest album or their most popular album, is this one, Aqualung, Jethro Tull. Some people might argue, if you like the more proggy side of it, which I do, you might argue more for Thick As A Brick. Either one, you're not going to be wrong. They're both great albums for different reasons, very different albums too. Thick As A Brick is a lengthy prog masterpiece. This one has prog elements in it, not as proggy. Does have some bluesy elements and some folky elements and some classical elements as well, but for the most part I think of this as a progressive rock album. And so their last album is this one, Jethro Tull's Rock Float, which came out this year. It's a good album, solid. He's developed an interest in Norse mythology and wrote in a book based on the characters of the principal people that are involved in the Norse mythology. People like Odin and Thor and Heimdall and Balder and Loki and all the Asgardian gods of Norse mythology, and he's made a kind of a I would call this a bit of a concept album about it, a story about it anyways, at very least. His voice, of course, we all know is weakened over the time period, So, but the music is all within the range of his voice, so it doesn't sound out of place at all. Pretty strong album. Nice shot of him, and the album cover here opens right up. It's pretty good. It's a pretty solid group. So this is a group that's still going and still making good stuff. Is it as good as some of the stuff in the 70s? No, but it's still pretty good, pretty solid stuff. So the overall, Jethro Tull, of course, we all know was biggest probably from about 1970, from the Isle of Wight, and that all the way up to about 1982 when they did, was it Warhammer? Was it Warhammer? I can't remember the name of the album. Anyways, yeah, some great stuff here. They've got 23 studio albums. That's a lot. Plus a horde of live albums. And if you get a lot of the remasters or box sets, especially the box sets issues of their albums, you will get all of those songs that they were notorious for recording more than twice what they needed for an album, and then just picking the best songs, and the rest went into the vault, and now they're all being released. And the great part about it is a lot of them are as good as the stuff on the album. There's some, and they've done that with just about every album they've released under box sets. So yes, I think Jethro Tull is still going strong, in my opinion. I think they still have gas in the tank, well, at least Ian Anderson does anyways. But the rest of the group seem to be able to handle the sound. That sound is still there. Members, there is god-awful number of members in this group. Could write this list for days, and I will give you some of the more notable people. Well, actually, I'll just give you them all. Ian Anderson, of course, David Gooder, John O'Hara, Scott Hammond, and Joe Parrish are the other current members of the band. You also have Mick Abrams. He was the original guitar player. You have Clyde Bunker, the original drummer. Glenn Cornick is in there. Martin Barr. Some people call him Barry. I think it's actually written Barry, or maybe it's written Barr. I'm not sure. Anyways, it's Martin Barr. Anyways, John Evan, Jeffrey Hammond, if you prefer. Barrymore Barlow, one of the great drummers in this band. John Glasscock unfortunately died, and he was so good too. Dee Palmer, David Pegg, Mark Crinsey, Jerry Conway, Peter John Vestas, Don Perry, who I saw a video with Neil Peart on, which was really good. He's quite a good drummer too. Martin Alcock, Andrew Giddings, Jonathan Noyce, and Florian Opel, who was the guitar player before this. So there you have it. That is Jethro Tull, one of the big six, and we'll be back with day 2 tomorrow. Please make your comments below. Please like, please subscribe. It's much appreciated, and I hope you'll enjoy the series. Take care. Bye.